Blog Talk Radio.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Sunny D. Welcome to tonight's show. It is July 13th, 2017. Oh, it's not Friday the 13th. Thank God. We're still alive. That's what happens. Guys, you want to say hi?
What's going on, good people? You know it's your boy Clint.
What up, though? It's Willie Styles. What's up, people?
Michella? Yeah? Hello?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Hey, it's Michella with Unforgettable Pleasures. How's everybody?
All right, guys. Tonight we got a great topic for you guys tonight. If you were on our Twitter page within the last week, you guys know what we're going to talk about, so you got to be tuned in. Turn your turn your house background noise down and listen in, and definitely call in. If you're listening right now, you're on blogtalkradio.com/GFT radio show. And if you want to call in, phone lines open up whenever you guys start calling. So the number is 657-383-1155. If you're going to hit us up on Twitter, add us at GFT_radio, and we're going to get this topic underway. But before we really start the topic, we want to introduce our guest host, Michella. Say hi to everybody and tell them what you do.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michella. I'm the owner of Unforgettable Pleasures. Unforgettable Pleasures is a romance and intimacy business. We focus on either helping you find or increase the intimacy in your relationship. So we offer several different services. We do home parties, we do intimate settings, we do boudoir photography, and then we also offer a large line of adult novelties and lingerie.
All right. I will be on that site. Don't judge me.
Hey, we all need that intimacy in those relationships. That's what's up.
I told y'all I can move toys. Toys are fun. Bring them. They got everything. Like y'all just think it's just dildos. It's so much. There's so much stuff y'all could buy. So much. So go there. Look on our look on our Facebook page. We tagged her page in our briefing of what topic was going to be tonight. So definitely go there, check that out, buy some shit, and if you buy it, tell her that we told you about it. You know, maybe it'll help. I don't know, but whatever, do it. Right?
So,
right?
yes.
Well, we're gonna. Oh, yeah, shut up, Clint. We're gonna do it. Shut. So we're going to definitely talk about the show. So last week, before we did our show, I was talking to somebody I know. We were talking about marriage and stuff like that. And he had asked me, it was actually my son's father, he asked me, he was like, do you think it's okay if a girl proposes to a guy? And I was like, no, that's crazy. You know, like, why would you do that? Like, and he was like, why you have an issue with that? I said, it's weird. It should be tradition. The guy should ask the girl shouldn't ask the guy, because I feel like it's a tradition, and I feel like if the guy wants to marry you, he'll ask you. Maybe he's not going to ask you for two reasons: whether or not he's not ready, or he just don't want to marry you. And I don't think that the female should. No matter if she's ready to marry him, she shouldn't propose to him. So that was my take on it. We kind of had a long discussion about it. So I brought it to the guy's attention, and this is why we're talking about it tonight. So, guys, you want to chime in?
Who want to go first?
I'm gonna go ahead and take the first crack at this, and I'm gonna say that, you know, like you said, traditionally, in traditional terms, it's definitely not the way things should be done. It's definitely not, you know, one of those things you want to see women, you know, pushing that as an action to do. You know, it's something people should talk about. I think it's definitely come up when you're in a relationship long enough. If a woman wants to broach the subject with the man and say, hey, you know, I think this is going to a certain place where we should be, you know, looking at, you know, long term, looking at marriage, looking at being a family, that's fine. But, you know, a woman getting down on her knee to ask a man to be her husband, I mean, that man should have did that. He should have stepped up and did that. That's just my take on it. And not even just with the tradition. I think it's just about being prepared and being ready to do that. I mean, I think if the relationship is at that point and that man is ready to take that step, I think he should be the one to step up. He's supposed to be the leader of the family, right? You know, the Bible says that the man is the head of the household. The Bible also says the man should be leading his family just as Christ leads the church. I mean, it's a lot. It talks a lot about that. And even if you're not religious, thing is, if you are a man, you're gonna do what men do, and you're gonna take responsibility, and you're gonna do the actions that need to be done as a man. That's my take on it.
Okay. Let me jump in real quick. First off, my personal opinion about two people getting married, that's a decision between them two. So however they decide to go about it or to begin it, that's really between them two. Who are we to judge, first of all? You know what I mean? Secondly, you keep talking about this tradition. You know what I mean? If you do your research on marriage, you know what I mean, traditional marriage had nothing to do with being in love or none of that. You know, it was all about arrangements. It was all about status. You know, the elite marrying into the elite. You know, keeping that family money flowing. Marriage had nothing to do with a man getting on his knees. And furthermore, different cultures have different ways of going about it. You know, if you go in some, like I say, some people have arranged marriages. Arranged marriages are still going to this day. 50% of marriages are arranged. You know what I mean? Let's go there first. So, you know, it ain't really about no man getting on no one knee or no woman getting on no one knee. You feel me? Now, I understand people, like Willie said, that, you know, he feel as though, you know, a man should do man things, a man should get on his knees if he's ready, if he's prepared. My thing is this. What's the difference between when a woman comes to a man and be like, listen, either we going to get married or we got to break this off? You feel me? And in a way, pressuring him to get on his knees and get married. To me, that's the same difference. You feel me?
Yeah, I agree.
You know, right. I mean, I don't think anybody should pressure you into doing something you're not prepared to do,
exactly,
or forcing you or rushing you. And I mean, I was in a situation like that, like 15, 20 years ago, where this woman told me, you know, I had 6 months to ask her to marry her. I broke up with her. I'm like, well, if you so dead set on getting married, knowing that we not ready, and knowing that I had already really broke it down to her previously to that conversation of the situation, the things that needed to either change for us to be ready to be married. And those things hadn't changed. So, you know, for her to give me an ultimatum, I was like, no, it's a wrap. There's no point and no purpose. You know,
and it's
so
also
I definitely agree with that.
It's also an underlying factor here that the ladies really not going to speak about. You feel me? And that's rejection.
Yeah. What do you think? That? Hold on. Whoa.
That is rejection.
What do you think that we're not going to speak about?
I just said it. It is rejection. You feel me?
It's not. No. Here's
because most of the time, see, a man get rejected all the time. You feel me? This is when we talk about gender roles. You know, it's natural for a man to always approach the woman. You feel me? And men approach women all day, every day, and get shot down. That is kind of accepted. You feel me? That is the norm. So, you know, a woman, that's why we had the discussion before, how do men feel about women approaching them to date or going to date this, that, and the third, because it's out of the norm.
No, but see, here's my thing. Now, you talking to a female who, if I think a guy's attractive, I have no problem with approaching him. I know how I look, how I can come off as a B or an asshole or a bitch. Like, I don't want to talk to you. I got an attitude on sight. Like, this don't talk to me. That's how I give myself out when I'm out and about doing my daily movements. Don't fucking approach me to do. I might cuss you out, so do not approach me. That's how I give off. I have no problem with approaching a man and talking to him. I don't have no problem getting shot down. I think I'm cute, but I've been shot down before. It's okay. That's not, to me, that's not the mentality of being fearing to get shot down. Here's where I think it's okay for a female to ask somebody, because I watched this movie where this guy was asking this girl to marry him for a while, and then she wasn't ready, whatever, and then he just told her, look, I'm not going to propose you nowhere because I'm going to ask you 50 million times, and I'm tired of getting hurt because I really want to be with you. And then eventually she proposed to him. That's fine. That's different. I'm not, as a female, going to ask a grown-ass man, get on one knee, not even get on one knee, just sitting and talking to you, hey, will you marry me? I'm not going to suggest that we get married. I'm not going to keep pressuring you to get married to me. If you want to marry me, you're going to ask me. That's how I feel. It's not even about being rejected. I just feel like that's something that should still be the same. Also, on top of that, like a lot of people tell me this right here too. It's like, oh well, if I get married, I'm not going to take my husband's last name. Why? Like why? I don't understand that, but okay. Like I just think that's stupid because if you're going to be loving this person, y'all want to build a future together, build this brand or whatever y'all trying to do, whether it's for financial reasons, whether it's whatever, love or whatever. If you're going to put it on legal paper that y'all are binding together, why not share the last name? Why not make it all together? Like it's just shit that to me that's tradition. A man is going to ask me to marry him, and if I say I want him, and if I accept his marriage proposal, I'm going to take his last name point blank period because I chose that this is the person I want to spend my life with, whether or not I'm in love with him. Because like I said, for me to get married, bitch, I'm going to be all stupid in love. I ain't about to be getting married to you because it's a financial benefit. I'm not going to get married to you because of stupid reasons. Like other reasons, he's being wholeheartedly in love with this person.
Hey, Sonny, let's let Michella chime in. I'm
sorry.
Sonny will go on and on. We will be here for 12, 13 minutes, and Sonny will keep going. I think that girl got a mind of her own. Go ahead, Michella.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I wanna make sure that I touch on bases that all of you guys actually spoke on. So just starting, I'll start with Clint. So I know that you brought up traditional marriages. First of all, my biggest issue with that is the fact that we're living in a world where, unfortunately, men are becoming less and less dominant. Like they're not as dominant as they used to be. So, with that being said, for me, my man has to be dominant. He has to be more dominant than me. So, if you want to actually get married, you're gonna have to propose to me. I don't believe in ultimatums, and I don't care what it is, whether it's marriage or you need to change this or I'm going to leave or whatever the situation is. I don't believe in that crap at all. One, because when it comes down to relationships, when you give somebody an ultimatum, most likely in order for you to be at that point to give them an ultimatum, your relationship is ending on. So, but that's another topic. As far as being rejected, that has nothing to do with my opinion towards it. Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
To make sure. You guys got really quiet on me, so I'm like, okay.
Listening.
Preach. Go ahead, girl. As far as being rejected, my opinion towards me asking a man to marry me has nothing to do with the fact of him being able to reject me. It's the fact that the easiest way for me to say it, there are a lot of things that I will do on my knees, but getting down and asking you to marry me is not one of them.
Wow.
Listen, that's not.
I'm good with the other stuff.
Let's say, that's not an equation. So,
you don't got to be politically correct. You can say it.
Right.
That was my little bit. That was my nice nasty right there. Okay. But my thing is, it doesn't work for me. It doesn't. In this day and age, we're fighting for so many different things. And like I said, I know we were talking about traditional, but I'll touch on both bases. Like you said, as far as the tradition is the man is supposed to ask you to marry you. And then the other tradition was a point that Sonny brought up. Back in the day, it was no question on if you took your man's last name or not. If we were getting married, I automatically took your name. This is some new age crap where the women are asking the men to marry him, and then you're deciding if you want to take his last name or not. Why not?
Or the men taking the women's last name.
I got a question.
I know a guy who took his wife's last name.
Right, yeah.
I got a question.
That's happened
what type of shit is that? Yeah, but I don't.
Or merging the names. I saw there's a couple of actors that have done that. They've merged their names. So
you know what, I've seen that, but with that particular thing, I think that comes with a little bit more of the power that their name has. And what I mean by that is, if you're an actor or an actress, you've already built a brand off of your name. So that's business. And sometimes we have to really, truly understand what they're doing. You think, like, for instance, and I hate to bring them up, but the Kardashians. Okay, so we understand that Kim took she did take Kanye's last name, but she's Kardashian West. She kept her name because that was her brand. That's who she is. But again, she's an entertainer. She's not working at Walmart. She's not,
right? William Frederickson. Come on now.
But what if
I have a question though.
Took her last name too and be like Kardashian West. I mean, that's what.
You know what? But that's Kanye.
I do that. Like
do something like that.
Yeah, true.
Kanye to go that route.
Here's a key question though. Here's a key question. Y'all keep saying tradition. Where are we getting this tradition from? Like who? No, I mean this is what I'm trying to figure out. What tradition are y'all talking about?
Okay, well, Clint, that's the thing. I think when we're talking tradition, we definitely are trying to talk modern traditions, right? We're talking, Like what
our grandfather and grandparents did.
Exactly. We're talking even maybe a generation before that. We're still talking that. And then two, even with the arranged marriages, what you got to remember too with arranged marriages is that they're still process that involves that man being a man and in a certain way where it may not be him, it may be his family. His family takes responsibility for that bride. Like I got a friend who was in an arranged marriage recently, and her husband's family paid a dowry to her family. They also did they had to do like this whole wedding festival. And they paid for the wedding festival, so, and then in terms of, the search portion of it is kind of a mutual thing. All the families are out there looking for suitable mates for their children. But when it comes down to the courtship is on that man's responsibility to pursue and to make sure that relationship is.
That's not always true.
So
that's not always true.
Well, and most of the ones I've seen, I don't know of anyone where the woman is responsible for making a relationship, but
some of them is strictly the fathers. In some traditions, it's strictly like the fathers arrange the marriage. There's no courting process. I have this. This is my daughter. We're trying to combine. Yeah, we're trying to combine families. We're trying to get power. That's how all of this started. That's all that stuff. And then when we talk about tradition, you feel me? Are we following through on everything? Because I hear what y'all saying. Don't get me wrong. I hear what y'all saying. But it's like, all right, if the man gets on one knee, proposes, because if we found the whole wedding tradition now, so then the woman's parents, because in American society, the woman's parents have to pay for the wedding. So are we going to follow through on all of that, or is it just this one particular thing that we stuck on?
No, here's my reply to that question. You got to look at it like this. In 2017, things are different. You got parents that ain't parents. You got shit that we're not living in the times, and we were living in United States of America. Stuff is a little bit different here than where it is like back when this was happening. Sometimes it's still happening in America, depending on where you're at, what type of religion you are, or what type of family you're raised in. So it happens. But in this 2017, within the black community, that you got deadbeat parents, so shit don't happen that way. So
that's the difference, and I wanted somebody to finally touch on that.
Yeah, and this is
talking about because
So this is the age where you can't. I'm sorry. This is the age where you can't. You might not have a father to ask the father, can you marry this girl? You might not have that situation happen. So this is I'm not saying everything has to be traditional. The wedding don't got to be traditional. How you choose to be married don't have to be traditional. But I just think that for me personally, those are two things that I feel like that's what I want. I want the man to ask me. I'm not about to ask no man. I'm not about to buy no ring. None of that stuff. None of that's happening. So we both can pay for the wedding. We both can do it how we gonna do it. That's fine. But those two things I'm not budging on personally.
Go ahead, Michella. What were you saying?
Well, the thing is I listened to what everybody was saying, and whether we decide to go that route or not, the big difference right now is the fact is race. Okay, in the black community, we don't have arranged marriages. That's not something that you see in the Black community. And if it is, it's not something that I've researched and been able to see since I've been doing my journey throughout my business. So the thing is, when you see arranged marriages, they are, like I believe Clint said this, they look at status. They look at what you can bring. If we put these two families together, what can you grow together? What can you build together? And that's actually what the marriage is supposed to be about. Only in the Black community do we look at, in my personal opinion, only in the Black community do we look for a husband because we love him. But guess what? You love him this year. In 6 years, he's not going to be the same person that you loved in the first place. So in 6 years, you're going to have to learn how to love him in the first again. Yeah. Nobody looks at the quality. Nobody looks at the qualities that these people have or that your mate has and say, okay, well, wait a minute. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years? And we're not just talking about financially. We're talking about mentally, spiritually, physically, everything. Where do you want to be? How do you want our kids to grow? How do you want to build our foundation? And once you figure that out, then you put a marriage together and you go ahead and you obtain those goals. But people look at it like, oh, no, I need to make sure that I'm in love with this person. Okay, like I said, you'll love him today or he'll love you today. Yeah. But in 2 years, when you decide you want to lose weight, gain weight, change your face, whatever it is, will he still love you? Marriages can't just be based off of love. And I think that's the issue because we've grown into this phase where it's like, okay, we're just supposed to love one another. And that's not the case. I need to respect you first.
That's true. I
have to respect you first.
Yeah. And that's the situation I ran into back then when I was given that ultimatum. It was like there was a laundry list of things that we hadn't even agreed upon or hadn't really discussed, to an acceptable conclusion to be able to pursue a relationship. And her thing was like, well, we're happy together and we're in love. And it's like, that's not, it's not all about love. And
you got to have to change that mindset and what you want.
Not having a goal set for different, parts of the relationship and different parts of our own lives, our own goals, having a plan to be able to get to the success of those goals, not having that bothered me. So, I mean, like you said, Michella, it's there's a lot more to it than just being just in love or, right now, we're stable here, but what if we have kids? Then what? That kind of thing. Right. If that's not thought through, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
I think about a lot of stuff with marriage. I think about a lot of stuff when you talk about marriage. You got to go like this. A lot of these people already have kids already before they whether they dating somebody that has kids or dating somebody that doesn't have kids, stuff like that. You got to look at all the stuff. You got to look at whether or not how your kids feel about this person and how they deal with your kids. You got to see how they do with their finances. People don't got their priorities together. So like this is what I'm saying. When you relationship with somebody and you thinking about y'all even talking about like the future like that, you gotta look at it like once you gotta have a conversation. That's one thing. We always said that whether we talk about any type of relationship, type of situation, you always have to communicate. You always have to have some type of open line communication. And always be talking about everything, not just the I love you, not just the we gonna do this and it's like you gotta think about stuff in the future. So when you date these people, you need to be talking about like all this stuff. It shouldn't just be we go out to dinner and we just gonna hang out and BS and watch Netflix. We gotta talk about everything, like religion. That's the factor. You gotta talk about like because you never know. Like you can marry somebody and they want to do like they want to do something crazy that you ain't even thinking about. And like when y'all finally come to you, that's how you gotta sit in there and figure out what y'all gonna do because you might not agree with what they want to do. So you gotta kind of think about everything.
I want to piggyback off of because I actually want to piggyback off what you said, Michella, because that's when we the picture that we have that promoted this show with the girl on her knee. I had found that picture online, and the best thing about online is you can go through the comments. And when I had posted, and when I had wrote something on my to promote the show on my Facebook page, I had wrote a quote from this white woman. You feel me? She gave this long, detailed thing about how black people are the only because you were right. Like black people are the only one who, when they think about marriage, the main thing on their mind is love, love, love. You feel me? And she was like, "Now I mean, that's why y'all so far behind because y'all just strictly getting married off love." She said that I put on my Facebook page. Now I mean, she made a profound quote that black people are so dumb because it was funny me reading the comment because I agree with everything she said. She was basically saying like y'all get caught up in this romanticized thing on TV, and that's what marriage is not supposed to be about. You feel me? That's why I always question when we talk about traditional marriage, like what are we talking about? Because we get our cues from society whether we want to agree with it or not. We got that from white folks, the way how we think about marriage. We think we got that from white folks, how they portrayed it to us. But they themselves will tell you, like, that's not what marriage is about on any level. It ain't even just about being an actor or actress. On any level. You feel me? On every level, it really was never based upon love. You feel me? So when we having this discussion, you know, and people saying tradition or, you know what I mean, what marriage should be about, I'm like,
I don't think it should just be like I said. I agree. I don't think it should just be about love, but I just think that should be a factor in it because you got people that's with like I don't. Me personally, I don't want to be married just because it's something like to do, to say that I've done or that this is going to benefit me or this is going to do that and the third. Like I also want to love the person that I'm married to. Like outside of all the other stuff that we choose to do in our future, I want this other stuff too, but I want love in it too. So I don't think that people just get caught up on saying that. Like I know I said that million times. Like I want to marry now. I want to be in love with a person I want to marry because I want to be in love with the person I'm married to. That's not the only thing that I want, but I want that too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's fine. And I really do think that that we're supposed to love that person. We are. I think the problem occurs when people just believe that that's all it takes to run a marriage, and it's not. But again, in order to really truly get into this topic and to get people to understand, we have to first go back to we have to go back to race. Because that's what at the end of the day that's what separates us from everybody else. When it comes down to how our marriages are portrayed, how they how the divorce rates are, or if we even get to a point, because black people aren't even getting to a point where we're getting married. I think now in the last few years it's increasing, but it was a point where it was just like we're just gonna have babies and we're gonna be together forever and hey, if we get married and then you be like, oh, it's not time. You're like, you've been with him for 27 years. What do you mean it's not time? You still don't think that it's time to to get married. And that's a problem. But what I will say is we were talking about traditional. Well, first of all, what we have to understand is that everybody's definition of traditional marriages are different. So the way that I look at traditional marriages and the way that you look at traditional marriages and everybody else, it's going to be different. It's just like when we look at the definition for success. People are like, oh, this is successful. And they're like, no, that's not true success. It's because we just perceive it differently.
Right, true.
So when I say traditional, so when I say traditional, I'm going back to, and I hate to bring up slavery, but I'm going back to that time where I'm telling you where it was the man's job to lead the household. It was the woman's job, it was his job to provide for that household and do what he needed to do or however it was. And then it was the woman's job to kind of just take care of home, make sure the kids were situated. And then as we continued to progress, we kept going. And that's kind of what happened until somehow we got to a point where there were no men in the household and only the women in the household and then only the women working and no men working. And now we look at today's society where it's like, two-parent households in the black community are so rare. We have to go back to the original problem.
Well, okay.
We have a caller.
Right.
Hold on, guys. Caller, you're on the line with GST Radio. Yes.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Peace to everybody, man.
Hey,
what's good?
The other Jabril.
Yeah. The one and only. Well, yeah. What's the topic?
What up, though, Jabril?
What's going on, man? It's hot as Africa out here, man. I'm trying to maintain.
So what's your thoughts on the topic, bro?
I need to get a little bit more detail. I just kind of tuned into the little latter part of the conversation. What y'all talking about?
You know how the homie do it. Like
he freestyle it.
So we talking about women popping the question. We talking about traditional marriages. We talking about what what's up with women having to be on one knee popping the question? Is that okay? And what's your definition of a traditional arrangement?
Okay, that's a good topic. That's a good subject. I like that. First of all, in my opinion, the traditional marriage, if we look at statistically and historically wise, back in the day, from our generation and the families that we come from, it was the men that always proposed. That's one side of it. And if you're looking at it from financial point of view, now people are getting married for financial purposes. You know what I'm saying? So if you have stability, if you have money, if you have material objects, then it's all for either person's gain. We can look at it from social media point of view and everything like that. But I think though, at the end of the day, the men are supposed to be the breadwinners. The men are supposed to be the uphold of the traditional values of marriage. But we don't see that. We don't see that these days because men are not stepping up to the plate as much as women. Women are taking care of the household, and men are making the babies, but they're not ready to commit and be married. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's just my opinion, though.
Interesting.
I can dig it. I can dig it for the most part. You feel me? That's what we're accustomed to. And I don't have an issue with that. Like, to be quite honest with you, if a female was to get on her knees and propose to me, I'm gonna look at her weird. You know what I mean? My thing is, I'm not going to judge a couple because that's how they went about it. You know what I mean? Like you said, this is 2017. Things are so different than what they were back in the day. We keep wanting to go back to tradition. Where has tradition led us? Tradition has led us to this point. You know what I mean? They broke up the black. They broke up the. Well, when they broke up the black family, when they instituted welfare and all of that stuff, that had a lot to do with kicking the man kicking a black man out of the household. That it wasn't just that man left. You feel me? They also put in the minds of black women that they don't need a black man. You feel me? Black women hopped on that feminist movement with the white woman when it ain't had nothing to do with them. We was straight. You feel me? We was straight when it was just us and we worried about us. But we wanted to integrate and this, that, and the third. Once you do that, whatever we had, that's gone. And I can understand for a personal perspective, you know what I mean, that this is what you want. You want a man to get on your knees. I respect that. There's nothing wrong with that. You want to hold on to that value. But to expect everybody to think like that, you know what I mean? We're so far off that track. We can never get back to that, to where everybody's going to think like that. That's never going to happen.
Well, yeah,
never going to happen.
Yeah, so
I have a question.
That's my thing.
Go ahead, Willie.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was my thing. Is that I think everybody has their own way of or own method of approaching marriage, right? Everybody has their own reasons. Everybody has their own requirements, and everybody has their own setup, their own way of doing it. I mean, not everybody even does marriage the same way. Some people live together, some people don't live together. Some people have a gender role based relationship where the man is working and the woman is at home with the kids. Others, there's both parents are out there in the workforce. Sometimes the man makes more, sometimes the woman makes more. Everybody does it differently, right? So I think, like you said, Clint, we shouldn't have to sit back and judge everybody based on what we think is right and what we think is okay. Because I share your thought there. If I see a woman get on her knees and ask a man to marry her, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you crazy or whatever the case may be. I don't know their situation. I can't judge what caused her to have to go through that. Like Sonny pointed out, there's an example of a woman who had to do it because the man had given up because she had shot him to the curb so much. So she had to take that step in order for him to know that she was real. So it's sometimes there's a situation or there's a scenario that calls for everything. So we can't sit back and make, judgmental comments or make judgmental thoughts about people and the way they do things just because it didn't fit for us. Go ahead.
Well, let me. I just want to say it's not that we're judging now. I just know for me that's not a preference of mine. I want to, just make that clear. If you decide that you want to propose to your husband or your boyfriend and you want to make him your husband, that's fine. That's for you. For me as a woman, I am dominant all day, every day. I'm a businesswoman. So I'm handling things all day, every day. So when I come home, I want my man to be dominant. I don't want to have to make any decisions. I want to know what it is that he wants, and I want to do it. So with me having to step into that role and make that decision, that takes away from what I want in a man.
Because nobody wants no man that can't think for herself or that always wants you to be the initiator. Like you said, men are primarily supposed to be the hunter. They like to pursue. Some men like to get pursued. That depends on the type of man that you're approaching. For me, I don't want a man I have to chase. I'm a grown ass woman. I got kids. I got to chase my 4-year-old. I'm not chasing no grown ass man to be relationship with me or whatever.
Okay,
I'm not fucking
all right.
for me.
All right.
This is my thing. Real quick.
Oh, go ahead. Oh,
Just real quick. I hear y'all. See, but when y'all say y'all not judging, y'all follow that up with, I don't want to chase a man. I need a dominant man. Who's to say that man isn't dominant? Who's to say he wasn't caught off guard?
That could very well happen. That could very well happen.
Good point.
What I mean?
I'm not saying, because I don't know their situation. I'm telling you, for me and my situation, for me, it's all about the approach. It's all about you taking that initiative. So there's not to say that her man is not dominant. I'm telling you, in order for me, my man has to be the person to lead and to be able to take those type of steps to guide us and lead us into the life that he wants us to have, and for me to be able to follow. And that's what works for me. It may not work for the next woman. It may not work for the next man. He may want a woman that is a little bit more dominant or whatever. With me, I'm telling you, I have to be dominant in every aspect of my life. When it comes out to my relationships, that's when I want to submit.
All right. So
I'm gonna say this into point for reply. All right. I feel similar to how she feels. Here's where I judge, and I'm gonna be frank about it. I know females that I've known for years. They dated these guys for years. They proposed to these guys. The relationship from the beginning wasn't shit. Like, I'm talking about from the whole time relationship, it wasn't shit. You were so desperate for a title to say to everybody else, oh, that's my husband now, and you miserable as hell. Yes, I'm going to judge you because you fought for that. You chased that dude. That dude showed you in millions and millions of ways. You called him in bed with so-and-so. You called him with so-and-so. He was in the car with so-and-so. Like, you, all this shit. And you just had to get that title and just to say, oh, wifey. And guess what? He's still fucking so-and-so. He's still the same sir, and you miserable as hell. Yeah, you get that. Damn right I'm going to fucking judge you because you're stupid as hell. That
to be realistic,
he didn't want to marry you. You just had to marry his ass to get a title, and now your ass fucking miserable with more kids. Yes, I'm fucking judging.
To be realistic,
I absolutely am. I raise my hand. Yes, I am. Bitch, you stupid.
To be realistic. All right, to be realistic.
And I love them.
Yeah, I know.
But they do that.
Let Jabril try. He was about to say something.
So to be realistic, I get all that. Everything everybody's saying makes perfect, valid sense. All right? It's three things. All right? It's three things. All right? Knowing from my ancestors, I'm not talking about like back in whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about our generation of us men that came here, right? That mothers, before their moms, they had multiple kids and with the same man, all right? Because they were the breadwinners. It wasn't because of status. It wasn't because of title. It wasn't because of, you know what I'm saying, like hierarchy of dominance. That's one thing. So that's one thing. Two things. The second thing is that because of that we are going away from our fundamental values of a black family, a traditional black family, is that because a society is demasculating the men from the household. You know what I mean? Because the men feel like as though, you know what I'm saying, is the men is telling, I mean, the society is telling men that they're unfit, and the women is more dominant. But we are the dominant gene. You know what I'm saying? And the third thing is that because of women's expectancy of what a man's supposed to be, there's not real men left out here no more. There's not real men left out here more. It's boys trying to be men. So men are trying to play the role as fathers, and boys are trying to play the part of men. You know what I'm saying? So we got to separate the men from the boys. So what we stuck at this generation gap right now is that it's just baby making. It's babies making babies. I'm done.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right.
All right, hold on 1 second. Jabril, I'm going to put you on hold. We got 2 other calls on the line. I want to try to get them in because they've been on here for about 5 minutes. Hold on. Did I do it right? Okay, hold on. Paula, you are on the line. Hello?
Hello. Hi. Well, I was calling in to chime in about would I ask a man to marry me, which, as I stated on Michella's page, I absolutely would not. Nor would I ask him when is he going to marry me. If you have to ask these things, then that means that he does not want to marry you. And if I have to ask you, or if I have to ask you to marry me, that means you don't want to marry me and you're too weak for me to marry. Because you have no drive to be with me, obviously, or you would have asked. I've never met a man that I was attracted to that was not assertive, that did not go after what he wanted, whether it was a job, whether it was a car, because that's what men do. They go after things that they want. And if we've been sitting in limbo for however long, then that's because that's where you are comfortable with us being. You're comfortable with us being in limbo, and so that's where we will be until I decide to go somewhere else. But I'm not going to ask you to marry me, and I'm not going to ask you when are you going to marry me.
Okay, I agree with you. Quick question though, what is the time frame or circumstances that will lead you to leave that relationship if he doesn't ask you to marry?
2 years.
2 years?
2 years.
2 years.
Real talk. I mean, I feel her. I feel her 100% on that.
How old are you? I mean, what?
How old am I? Well, I'm sorry. My name is Marilyn, and I am 29 years old. I have been married before, and it was for me 2 years is the mark. And I'm not having children by a man I'm not married with. Under no circumstances.
See, I wasn't going to put your name out there, but I see you keep your sexy voice on from when you would call in, Marilyn. I'm going to just say that.
Right?
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
So, Marilyn, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Marilyn, I have a question for you. Because I feel like how you feel. If they don't ask, they just don't want to marry. But I also feel like sometimes it's not that they don't want to marry you, it's that they're not ready. Like, because, a guy could really be like, I got to get my shit all together before I really ask her to marry because I love her. I really want to be with her, but I'm going to ask her. I'm not asking her when I'm actually ready. So what if he wants to marry you, but he's not just there yet?
Well, don't hold me up. If you're not ready to be with somebody, don't hold me up. Let me go about my business. Let me explore life while you're, probably exploring life as well. And when you get yourself together, then you come on back. But I'm not going to stay here and wait for you to figure out what you want to do with your life, because a lot of times people figure out what they want to do with their lives and it's not with you. I know plenty of women that meet a man, he don't got his stuff together, she done helped him get himself together, she done sacrificed for him, she done brought him this, she done brought him that, and then you know what he do? He turned around and be like, I don't really want to be with you no more. I'm really not with this. So I'm not going to invest in you. I'm not going to waste my time with you. 2 years, and then within them 2 years, I need to know for sure, like, oh, yeah, he's going to propose at some time. If I still have to wonder what we doing, where we going, what's next, then we're not doing anything. It's been 2 years.
Okay, well let me flip the question. Then. Like if he's coming to you at like a year and a half, and he's like, look, I want this to progress. I want this to be a marriage. I want this to be a family, but financially or status or whatever the case may be, whatever his situation is that he needs to get together. He says, work with me, and we'll get this together in the next year, maybe 2 years after I graduate from school, or after I get this job, or after I get this promotion. Will you work with him? Will you, if he's discussing it with you, if he's talking to you about his concerns, his reason for delay?
For me, finances is not a good reason why we're not married. Because once we get together, no, because once we get married, now I am obligated to help you because you're my husband. As my boyfriend, and you say you need to get yourself together, well, I'm about to go explore some people that are together. I'm not waiting for you to get yourself together. You should have never been with me in the first place. Leave me alone.
You're not together. I'm going to go over here and get myself together.
Marilyn is not for no games up in here. She's not.
And I like that. And I like her vibe.
I think that has a lot. I think that has a lot to do with the fact that, like she said, she was already married before, and she, and she got divorced or whatever. Because at 29, you won't hear that a lot from a lot of women. We're only a few year difference, and my thing is, I know for me, if somebody in 2 years, I'm like, I don't know you well enough. My last relationship was 12 years. So my thing is when you come to me and we're a year in, it's like, I still don't know you. I don't want you to ask me to marry you in a year. I don't think I want you to ask me to marry you in 2 years, because I'm still getting to know you on a certain level, and I'm exploring you. And I want to make sure that we have everything else situated mentally first, spiritually, when we connect on that level, because you don't really get to know that part of a person in the first year. You don't know how they truly feel spiritually, in my opinion. You do have people just right off the rip where they're able to come in together and able to pray together and read the Bible together. For me, that's a sacred area. You can't come into that part of my life in a year. I need to know that you're serious. In a year, you will not meet my son. I need to know where this is going. I'm really strict on that. You cannot come into my life and then I get to, in a year we find out in a year you want to get married. Wait a minute. What goals do you have as part of you stepping into my son's life? What are you getting ready to bring into his life? Because he has an active father. His father is not absent from his life. So now you're supposed to step in and enhance that, just like if you have children, I'm supposed to step in and enhance that. I'm not supposed to replace your mother. I'm supposed to be able to come in and say, hey, I'm a bonus.
Right.
So it needs to be vice versa. So in a year or 2 years, it's not enough for me.
Yeah. Well, I think timing is also objective and subjective, right? So people have their own ideas of what timing is good, what timing is bad. I mean, for you, like you said, a year is not enough. 2 years not enough. Some people think that a year, if after a year you haven't discussed marriage, they out. If like the situation I was in, I think I was dating that girl for like a year, maybe a year and a half, and we were already discussing it. But the thing is that I saw it wasn't going in that direction. But I've been in relationships where we've had the discussion up, that soon, because we both felt it was necessary. So I think timing is always subjective. Now, when it comes to a kid being involved, I definitely agree, because a lot of times you have to look at the fact that, like you said, there's those nuances. If the other parent is still involved, if the kid is young versus if they're older. I mean, there's a lot to that, so you definitely have to be careful with that, and you definitely don't want to introduce your kid to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that walks in the door, every Mary, Jane or whatever that walks to the door.
Sometimes people just want to, sometimes, especially as a single mother now, sometimes a man just want to date me. He don't want to be bothered with my badass kids. He just really wants to date me. And I absolutely understand that, because sometimes I just want to date you. I don't want to deal with your mama, and I don't want to deal with your sisters, and I don't want to deal with your kids. I don't want to deal with your baby mama. But when I see women that have been with a man for 7 years, like 7 years, and y'all been, and now you want to ask me to marry you, to me, it's offensive. Like, no, I just been sucking your dick for the past 2,500 days. No, I don't. I don't know if I want. Don't ask me no stupid question like that. Of course I want to marry you.
Right. I want to piggyback off what Michella said. I want to piggyback off what.
Before you continue, can you hold on 1 second? I need to put you on hold while I get this other caller, and they've been on the line for about 12 minutes, and I don't want to have them just there. So can you hold on for a second for me, please?
Sure.
What?
All right, hold on. Caller, you on the line with GSP Radio.
Hey, how you doing?
Hello.
Can y'all hear me? Hello. Well,
Yes, what
you
you
know,
mean?
I agree with what she was saying, but you know, I'm on a defense mode of I think that, you know, if we as women can ask for, you know, a ring or, you know, a diamond necklace, you know, you want a big house, you know, you want a family. What's wrong with asking, you know, when it's right and the perfect person to come in your life for you and your family, knowing that, you know, he's there mentally and physically, and someone that understands you, and you laying up, like she said, sucking dick, you laying up, fucking every day. What's wrong with asking? What's wrong with that?
Oh, I like her.
What's your name, sweetheart?
Straight to the point. Straight to the point, right.
What's your name?
You know, I understand, you know, like she said, she was married. You know, I was never married. I'm the person on the other end. I asked my guy, let's put it like this. I have 3 kids and 1 on the way. And this by the guy that I asked him, you know, will he marry me? The thing is, it's crazy because I really love this topic because I was dealing with him when he was dealing with somebody else. And when I asked him, would he marry me, he told me yes. And I moved from my 3-bedroom into his apartment with him. You know, he told me yes, financially, you know, we're going to wait because, you know, like I said, we have a baby on the way. And, you know, prior before he had a kid and, you know, we got 1 on the way. So I told him, you know, well, that's understandable because, you know, we want to make sure it's financially right as well because we don't want to jump into something and it hurt us in the end. You know, we don't want it to be a struggle. You know, we don't want our relationship to be fucked up because, oh, well, we have money issues or, you know, it wasn't right at the time or, you know, we don't want to make excuses. We want it to be right at the right time. And on that note, you know, now I just found out. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Quick question. Did you actually like full on propose to him? Like, I mean, not that you got on one knee or nothing, but like you actually said, you know, will you marry me? Like as in the whole proposal, or were you just discussing marriage as a end game to your relationship?
We discussed it prior before. I asked him. I said, you know, well. First off, you know, you ask that question when you just fucking, you say, hey, you know, have you ever fell in love with somebody, you know, at first sight, you know? And I'm 29, by the way. He's 47, okay? Big difference. You know, we laughed about it, you know, because we laying up, you know, just at the moment. But in reality, he said, you know, yeah, I have. And it's not often you hear that because people think it's a game. And I asked my friends, you know, because I had been dealing with him off and on, even knowing another whole relationship, him dealing with somebody else. You know, well, what do you think? You know, and my friend said, well, you know, go for it. I don't see nothing wrong with it. And he said yes.
Okay,
my friends wouldn't agree to that shit. They was like this.
Let me chime in real quick.
Can I ask this?
First of all, I wanted to go back to what the other caller was talking about it's really about communication. You know what I mean? And kind of what Willie just asked her. You know, if y'all had this conversation about getting married, you know what I mean, and y'all both on the same boat, in my opinion, like I said, I don't have a problem with whoever want to take, you know what I mean, jump on that shit first. You know what I mean? Whoever want to take that initiative first. I don't think it's emasculating a man, this, that, and the third. Because my thing is, we keep talking about, when in this conversation, I keep hearing about if a man ready, this, that, and the third. What about if I'm in a relationship with a woman, you know, and like I love her, but in my mind, she's not ready for marriage. You feel me? We don't we're not talking about that perspective or why a man hasn't asked her or asked a woman to get married. We keep saying that he's not assertive or he's not ready, this, that, and the third. What if you're not the one? What if the woman is the one that's not ready in a relationship?
Listen,
Well,
Absolutely.
But the thing is,
but you know what?
I acknowledge that a lot on my page, and I always the women absolutely get upset with me because I always address them first. Because in today's society, we're always talking about the men. So on my page, they know that I always address the woman. Are you ready? Are you still holding on to baggage that you had in your previous relationship? How many kids do you have? Are you financially stable? Do you know how to pray? Do you know how to cook, clean? We talk about all those different things. Why? Because those are the things that are important into that relationship. But to go back to something that Marilyn said when she called, you have to know the difference between if you're dating somebody if you're dating somebody to actually build something with, or if y'all just talking. If we can't talk about you being a part of my kids' life, or you getting to know my children, or whatever the case may be, that's not, or me meeting your family, or we doing stuff, whatever the case is, if we're not talking about being able to move forward, then we just talking. And people need to be able to differentiate the two between you dating somebody and y'all just getting a nut on.
Yeah, that's right. Because I'm the same way. I'm not just letting no female around my daughter. I have a daughter.
Mm-hmm. And absolutely,
and we both parents. We're not together, but we're very active. First of all, you know what I mean. Secondly, reason why I want to bring, because let's say most, like I'm in my mid-30s now, so most women I meet already have kids. You feel me? My thing is, I want to see how you raise your kids, because you may be cool with me. You feel me? Our relationship may be cool. Our relationship may be great, but now I'm seeing how you handle your kids. And I'm like, nah, I can't fuck with her like that. I can't break her around my kids. Right.
But you know what? My question is,
and I'm not bringing her badass kids around my daughter. Hell no.
Yeah, I think my question is because the guy I'm dating, I've been dating him since end of January. It's now July. We've been hanging out. He met my daughter. He saw my son, but he hasn't been traditionally like around them in like a setting where we all hang out and he got to see them and stuff like that, whatever. And we talked about that. We talked about marriage. We talked about all that stuff. We talked about that. And I said, now everybody that listens to this podcast knows my son is autistic and he's 4. So, and my daughter's a teenager. She just got teenage issues, whatever. But like we often have discussions about when I'm going to bring them around him and being just us around each other, because he don't have any kids. He wants two more. I don't know about that, but we talked about that too. But he has to at some point meet my kids and see how you got to interact with them. Not only does he have to, with my son, he has to learn how to be around him and how to deal with him, how to communicate with him, because my son is still learning how to communicate. So, this kind of that. So it's more of a challenge for him. So I'm like, this is what we're going to do. We have to get to this point where you're around them and know them. That's why, as a parent, you have to be protective about the kids. You can't have the kids around everybody. You have to, when you bring people around your kids, you have to understand your kids are going to be affected by them in some way, whether they like them, whether they don't like them. You have to figure out why, if they don't like them, stuff like that. So you have to be mindful. You can't just bring anybody around your kids. But sometimes it's better off to kind of do it in a certain time span. But people rush things and then it don't work. Like, you have to kind of take your time at this, because this shit is work. It's not like, this is going to work miracle. You got to communicate. You got to talk about things. You got to see how things work out, and stuff like that. So you can't just go rushing and saying, okay, here's my kids. I got them. Like, I have them. You see them on my Facebook, but are you going to hang out with them now? Not until I feel like you're actually ready to do that. Not saying that you're not ready to, but I'm not ready to, like, here go my kids.
Yeah. Well, my thing is I'm very leery of people where if we start dating, and your approach is always I don't want to say always, but your approach is to know so many different aspects of my life. You need to know where I stay. You want to come over and spend the night. You need to meet my kids. You're ready to do all of that. That creates red flags for me. And the reason why I say this is because if you're so interested, I personally believe if you step into my life and in the first couple of months, all of a sudden you need to know everything about me, because I'm really big on 2 things. I live by 2 rules. Everybody doesn't need to know your kids. Everybody doesn't need to know where you stay. I live by those 2 things. So if you step into my life and you need to know where I stay at, you need to come over to my house, you need to meet my son, stuff like that. That I'm like, why? And then it makes me believe that you're doing this to whatever other women that you're dating. That's something that is just you just ready to just step into somebody's life and just be whatever until the next woman comes along, and then you're ready to do that. I feel like a grown man that's ready and willing to build with you, they're going to take their time. They'll get to know you first. They'll get to know your different qualities, and then they'll start moving into, okay, how is your son doing? What's going on? Is he into any activities? What type of things does he like? You will ask me those questions, and then one day it'll be, hey, do you want to go out to the movies or take the kids here or whatever? Let them have a play date so they can get to know each other, or however the situation is. You ease into it. You don't jump into it, because I feel like when you jump into it, you're just jumping into it just because today is Monday. You just want to jump into it because today is Monday. You're not long term.
Right.
So I'm just somebody that's willing to be able to build that, and it needs to be long term.
And I'm leery of a woman.
What would be the difference?
Who's easily accepted a man into her bed or to her house with her kids. You feel me?
Exactly.
Like I look at her sideways. Like, well, damn, how many niggas have you let in here around your kids? Now, if it's that easy, you just letting me. You don't know shit about me. I barely know you. You feel me? But you got me around your kids all the time. Like, I'm looking at you weird.
And that's what kills me, because as a woman, I don't want to meet your kids at the beginning. I want to know about your kids. I want to know if you're an active father in your children's life. But I don't want to meet them. Why? Because I don't want to just be another, this is my daddy's friend. No. That's not what I'm stepping into their life for. Like I said, if I'm stepping into their life and I'm getting to meet them, I'm stepping in as a bonus. First of all, we need to get a clear understanding as to what we're getting ready to build. And then two, I need to meet their mother, because we need to be we need to be able to respect each other, understand each other, and whether people realize it or not, we need to at least love each other to be able to build these children up the way that they need to be brought up, to be able to get them to where they need to go and live their life abundantly the way they're supposed to be able to do so. You can't do that without respecting their mother. I'm supposed to love you, but I hate your mama. I'm supposed to love you, but I want to beat up your mama. How? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
That's a whole nother show topic. That's a whole nother show topic.
Exactly. But you know what?
I want to kill your mama, but I'm going to be your stepmama.
Right, yeah, but I want to be your stepmama.
Did we ever get some more back on the line right now?
I think the caller had a question. Go ahead, caller.
I got one more question. Just saying, what would be the difference if we just go back a little bit and women had proposed to men first? Would it be a problem? Because we so going off of.
I think it would be. I mean, whatever. Right. Whatever was socially acceptable in the past is how we're kind of looking at it, right? Like right now, think about it like this: if a man sat at home and just took care of the kids and cooked and cleaned and that kind of thing, and the woman was working, we would look at him sideways because women started doing that first, right? So that traditionally, gender tradition.
I look at him like a pimp.
Roles. Only Clint, right? But so I think it all comes down to how things started, right? And what we consider tradition. And like Clint brought up earlier, Clint was on point when he said, how do we define tradition? Because just because we think that we should, step out there and just go meet a woman and try to court her and try to marry her. It's not how everybody does it. Some people, they have to go through their family, or the two fathers have to meet, or you got to ask the father's permission to even court the woman if you want to date the woman, that kind of thing. There's so many different traditions out there. There's so many different ways of doing it. I think it all comes down to how what's comfortable for you and what works for your situation. That's how I look at it. And
I think
we can't clearly judge everybody's situation based on what works for us. We really can't do that.
And I think what's forgotten a lot in these conversations is, you feel me? Like I'm a man, so I'm always speak from a man's perspective. I love the ladies, but you feel me?
But that's all we hear.
A lot of females that forget that men have standards as well.
Yes, y'all. No, we don't. We don't forget that. We understand that.
No, y'all don't, because it's not all. You do. Y'all do. You know what I mean? But not all women don't understand that man has standards. as well, because you could hear how some women talk. Oh, I got my own this, I got my own that, this, that, and the third. Like a real male don't give a damn. You feel me? Especially in an initial courting. Like, I don't give a damn what you got because I don't want that from you. I don't care about your car. I don't want to drive your car. I don't care about your house, your bed. I don't want to sleep in your bed. You feel me? I don't need.
But who knows?
Yeah, you feel me? I don't need that from you. You feel me? So you know, like I have standards as well. You know what I mean? So when I'm courting a female, you know what I mean? It's not in the traditional sense sometimes. That's why I know I have issues because, you know, yeah, I'm trying to get to know you and get you to like me, but I need you to approach me with that same energy. You feel me? I need you to be into me just as much as I'm into you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I think that's overlooked nowadays. Nowadays, it's more about the hunt. What does the man have to bring to the table? To me, that's emasculating. You feel me? Because all you worried about is what I got, what I can do for you. What the hell can you do for me? You know what I mean? What makes you so special?
And
what they say, we don't have to be creative. We should all be equal.
Earlier, Clint, is that. Yeah, and the other thing that Clint brought up earlier is a man knowing that the woman either is he really ready. It's not always about the man being ready, because sometimes the man is ready, but he feels like the woman isn't ready, or the woman may already have spoken up and said she's not ready, that kind of thing. So it's not always cut and dry. It's not always on the man to do everything. So.
Yeah. All right, hold on, guys. I want to get the other caller. We lost Brill. Hopefully he'll call back, but we about to get ready to kind of wind down for us because we got less than a half hour to show. I want to get the other caller back in so they can do their closing remarks and we can continue on. Hold on,
Thank
guys.
you.
No problem. Thank you for calling in.
No problem.
Thank you for calling in. Yep.
No problem.
Hello?
Caller, you're back on the line.
Wow. It was so many things that were said that I wanted to chime in on. Definitely for when people say, about timing and, it's not a good time to get married. If we're, like for the young lady that said, we're about to have a baby, but we're going to wait to get married. Well, you're already committing yourself to someone. If we're in a relationship with each other and we're about to have a baby, us getting married, for me, what I always tell people, if anything that's about to change after you get married besides your last name, then you need to leave that alone. Because nothing else should be changing. I shouldn't stop doing things. I shouldn't be, we're married now. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. Then we shouldn't have been married in the first place. Nothing should change but my last name and maybe my address if we don't live together. But for me, we have to live together first because that's when you really get to know somebody. If it takes me more than 2 years to figure out if I want to be with you, then that means I don't want to be with you. It doesn't take me that long to figure out if I can deal with this person for a very long time. If I need more than 730 days to realize if I like you or not, I don't like you.
No, I just said, I was just joking because in 2 years, like she said, I totally agree. Like, you really got to live with somebody to know somebody. You feel me? And within 2 years, I don't know. I'm thinking 2 years ahead. Me right now, meeting somebody. Now, you're not living with me. Like, I don't know you. You know what I mean? It's gonna take like I gotta really it gotta be some real.
I would rather marry you.
For me to...
I would rather marry a man than have his baby first. Is what I would rather do. Right. And I always tell people that are newlyweds, don't have that man baby until y'all been married for a year. Well, we were going to get married and make a baby on our honeymoon. No. You get married first. You realize in a year if you really even like that person after that first year of marriage, if I can deal with you. Because then I can get a divorce in about 2 days and 2 court dates and 1 court date, and we can go about our business. But if you my baby daddy for the rest of my life, I got to deal with you.
No, but see, here's my rebuttal to that. Sometimes in 2017, sometimes that just don't happen. Like, really,
right,
I'm sure everybody would like to get married before they had a baby with somebody. I get that. Trust me, I understand. I got 2 kids, and I wish I would have waited. But sometimes life happens. Huh?
I said what you're saying is sometimes you get up a little too slow and sometimes you just catch the nut. So listen, if the baby comes first,
I mean, sometimes it works that way, but I mean, it's like life happens. Shit happens.
I'm just saying. I know that some women think is the other way around. You know, and some people, especially in 2017, think it's the other way around. Oh, I ain't marrying you, but you have my baby. No, you know, I've met a man that was like, "Ooh, Marilyn, if I was 10 years younger, you would be pregnant right now." I said, "Why would you rather get me pregnant than marry me? Because if you marry me and you don't like my ass, you would divorce me. But we had this baby, and you're stuck with you're going to deal with me in some way, shape, form, or fashion for at least the next 18 years.
Right.
You can divorce me and never talk to me again.
Like, that's a decision one make to have a baby, just like to get married. Like, I don't agree with this whole fact. Like, shit happens. You feel me?
No, I'm saying, like, you can be with somebody. Like, okay, so here, so let's just get the way. So, all right, so you meet somebody, y'all been dating for however long y'all was dating for, whatever. Y'all decide, you know what, we going to move in together before, you know, see if I still like you. When you moving in with somebody, y'all humping. Condoms are not 100% protecting you from getting pregnant. Like, let's be real about it. You can get pregnant on birth control.
Intrauterine device.
You can get pregnant all different types of ways outside of that. So, like I said, like, let's be real about it. Shit happens. So you could be with somebody planning on going down the future, and then you get pregnant. It happens. You can be using protection, and shit happens. Like, let's be realistic about it. So if you're with somebody for 2 years, whatever, y'all decide I want to get married, y'all stacking up, y'all fucking on like all the time, but it happens.
But that is realistic. It is realistic. You making that decision to hump. Who told you? Who told? I've been in that situation. I had a baby. Listen, let me finish. I've been in that exact situation. You know what I mean? I can't use a cop-out and say, oh, shit happened. No, me and her made a conscious decision when we had sex to not use protection. That was a choice.
This is what I'm saying, Clint. This is what I'm saying. It's not like, I'm not saying if you fuck without condoms, yeah, you're going to get pregnant. It happens. I'm talking about if you are fucking, right, and you use a condom, or you not only use a condom, but you are birth control.
Period. It's a decision to have sex. You make a choice to have sex.
No, I understand that. I understand, but just being realistic. So okay, so you tell me that you're gonna live with somebody for 2.5 years or 2 years, whatever, and not fuck because you don't want to get pregnant before you get married. Come on, really?
Well, I live with my husband.
Are you buying what you're selling? Like you sitting next, you laying in the bed butt naked with a bitch, and you ain't fucking her? Come on now, for 2 years, tell me that.
Well,
tell that to somebody else. Come on.
For me, I didn't.
Who living with somebody for 2.5 years though?
I'm just saying. It's not what I'm saying. If you date somebody for a year,
I clearly see it.
Not even 2.5 years. Say a year. Or y'all met. Y'all like each other. Y'all got a place together. Y'all live with each other a year before y'all got married. So you need to come for that whole year. You ain't fucking in this bitch ain't like you damn near naked.
Well, I don't think that he was saying that he wouldn't have sex with her.
That's a decision.
I think that he was saying that you can.
That's a decision. That's still a decision.
It is. But in that decision, you can also be using protection. Guess what? It's not 100%. You could be on birth control.
I understand things happen, but I think that we're not talking about oops that happened. We're talking about people who go into relationships and say, I will rather have somebody's baby and then we'll talk about marriage. No, if I'm pregnant and we want to be together, we don't need to wait to get married. We can get married tonight. We can go right now to Toledo and get married because we already said we're going to be together, so what are we waiting on? We already are bringing a whole other human being into this world together. So what the hell do we need to wait on? There is nothing to wait on. We done did it. We in this.
Exactly.
Because we done did the most important thing there is to do, which is bring another person into this world. And now you want me to wait to get married? No, we're getting married when we decided, oops, this wasn't a mistake that we got pregnant. And damn, I ain't really mean to get you pregnant. If we fucking and you nutting in me, and I say, babe, I'm pregnant, you say, okay, good, congrats, great. Okay, well, And now I done got down on bended knee and asked you to marry me, and then you say, well, let's wait to see how our finances go. No, nigga, no. We about to go get married. Don't hold me up.
Now let me tell you my story real quick. That's what that exact same, well, sort of happened. Moved it, started dealing with each other, humping on each other. Baby popped up. We started discussing marriage. It was all in. You feel me? And then like 3 weeks later, it's like, nah, I ain't marrying her. She was like, nah, I ain't marrying him. You feel me? Like, you feel me? So, like, having a baby doesn't necessarily guarantee a happy relationship, or shouldn't guarantee marriage. You feel me? That's two separate things, in my opinion.
No, you mean a marriage shouldn't guarantee a baby. Let's understand that the baby's supposed to come after that. You are responsible for what happens in your life.
Saying,
and what happens as a woman, I am
first,
responsible. No,
if
I am responsible
first,
for
that doesn't
my
mean
uterus.
that they need to get married.
I'm responsible for my uterus and my cervix. Me and my husband, we live together and we screwed every day, all the time, 2 or 3 times a day. You better pull out. I better catch it, or I'm going birth control. We will, because I'm not doing it. There is no, either you're just irresponsible and you don't care, and you really have the idea that I'd rather have your baby than marry you. Be careful about, first of all, don't nuttin' me if I don't want to be with you. Put the condom on. I got an IUD, and I'm not taking my IUD out for nothing in this world unless I'm getting another one, because I don't want nobody's baby. So you have to be responsible for yourself. Shit don't happen unless you let it happen. You don't get pregnant unless you have sex unprotected, unless somebody come in you and you don't have birth control. A good, not no damn bullshit ass pill, but a good birth control. Get an IUD. If you got one baby, everybody on this phone know one thing. We all know how to make a baby. We all know the pull-out method ain't all that.
I had the perfect solution to prevent pregnancy.
Swallowing really does help, and sometimes the pull-out method helps. But an IUD really helps.
I say it frequently on my page. Listen, just swallow. You don't have no issues. There you go. Done. Boom.
I just don't think that, like, I just feel my personal opinion, like, I got 2 kids, so I like, it was condom used. It was, and in one situation, condoms wasn't used. I was on birth control, and shit just went the way it went. Yes, I understood my actions and me choosing to fuck that person. I was with them, so we were fucking, and was my intent to get pregnant? No, it happened. I could have chose to get an abortion. I chose not to. Like, shit happens. So you have to take accountability for your actions. If you fucking period, whether it's with the condom, whether it's with birth control, whether it's not with a condom, you understand that's a possibility you can end up pregnant or having a child, and you got to deal with it. And abortion is not birth control, because people use that like it's birth control. It is not birth control. Absolutely. You have to choose that if you're going to keep doing that, you got to get your life together.
Very true. Very true.
It happens, not to keep saying it, but it happens. And you accountability.
I just wish that people would.
At the end of the day, the goal is to increase the number of 2-parent households and marriages that we have in the Black community. We need to get back to that, because that's the goal. Because everybody else is getting married, everybody else is building their foundations. It's us. The goal
know what my solution is for that?
To bring our generation into.
And you want to know what my solution is for that? My solution for that, and I tell people, is mind your damn business. Stop looking through his phone. Stop looking for it. Because first of all, when I was married, one thing I'm not doing, I'm not leaving my husband because he's cheating. Because I have 3 people whose lives are affected, and I can't tell you that you're gonna be raised by a single mother. Your daddy gonna come get you on the weekends because I was mad because he had sex with some bitch. That's not good enough. That is not a good enough reason. Mind your business, and you won't know. I don't go through phones. You can't pay me to go through a phone. I'm not going through your phone. If I go on the computer and your email pops up,
I got a better solution. I got a better solution. Let's go back to real tradition. And talk about polygamy.
I love it.
You know what?
Wait a minute.
Everybody got quiet.
I love it. I love the idea.
Really, you see how quiet it got? Really, you see how quiet it got? Really,
I love it.
I'm not touching that one.
I don't have a problem with polygamy.
Infidelity. Like, I just knew we was about to say, you need to go back and trust distance and make sure that, you're not supposed to bring infidelity into your marriage. I was ready. I was like, yes, wait a minute.
Let's all have a girlfriend. If you want to cheat, do some free stuff. Find your relationship. If you want to cheat, find your girlfriend that's going to help you and your wife out, and y'all make that shit work. You ain't got to get married to the bitch, but just have a girlfriend. You have to have a girlfriend. It's okay.
Yeah. I don't see anything wrong with polygamy as long as we're all a team player, because either you're gonna have somebody on the side that you're taking money to, or you're gonna bring this hoe home and she's gonna bring some money in here and she's gonna cook and she fucking when I'm on my period so I can sleep well. But she's gonna work. If you want to be a part of it, if you want to be with my husband, you're gonna work.
I mean, that's the basis of polygamy. Polygamy is really the basis of building marriage isn't just like we said earlier. Marriage is really not about love. It's really a business arrangement, to be quite honest with you.
Yes, it is.
You feel? You know what I mean? That's even in today's society. You know what I mean? That's why marriage is a contract and you need a license to get married and all that. This shit is a business, people. This shit ain't about love. So when you're talking about getting married, you feel me? You're talking about building a foundation and building just raising your status. That's what it's about. Be quite honest.
And you shouldn't leave a deal because he made a couple of side deals. I'm not leaving a deal because you made some side deals.
You said it's about God. Who said that?
She said side deals. She said side deals.
Oh no, I thought Teresa said something about God.
No, I said it's about being a beneficiary on life insurance policy in case he uses the other side. I'm need to be the beneficiary.
Which is why you don't leave a deal because you made some side deals. I'm not leaving. And if women would stop leaving for that, things could be better. I know so many women that say, my husband was a good husband. He took care of everything. He took care of the kids, but he was a cheater. So, okay, I get confused. Okay, so what? Because I'll ask women, when are we going to realize that what we're asking for?
We need to have a conversation about that.
I'm trying to tell you. I want to know, when are women going to realize that if you have 10 men, because I can personally say every man I ever had, every boyfriend I ever had, I remember my boyfriend Jonathan in 4th grade, he had another little girlfriend. I've never met a boy that did not have, my son is 5 and he has 2 girlfriends at school. I'm just saying, well, you know when you had a little boy in class that's your boyfriend, y'all don't kiss or touch none, but that's your boyfriend. My son is 5 years old and he likes 2 girls. What I'm saying is that it's natural for men. It's natural for men to like multiple women. When are we going to say, maybe what I'm asking for is impossible? If 100 women got the same problem, when are we going to say, maybe they're not the problem, maybe what I'm asking them to do is the problem? I'm asking you to do something that 313-286-6039. I'm asking them to do something that they just cannot do. They can't do it. So stop asking, stop holding them to all of this pressure.
I have to disagree with you. See, Marilyn, I have to disagree with you on that. And the reason why I have to disagree with you on that is because if 100 women are all having an issue with their man working and they're having financial issues because their man don't want to get out there and work, that doesn't mean that we adapt to it. You see what I'm saying? So my thing is, if you have women that, okay, you want to sleep with somebody else, that's fine, you go ahead and you do that. My personal opinion on it, yes. I you know what, and I hate to say it, but I have 2 opinions on it. So, my personal opinion, if that's what you're going to do, yeah, you might as well bring the bitch home and we'll enjoy her together. But if you decide that that's not what you want to do and you decide you want to step out, then your best bet is to make sure that I don't ever find out about it. Your best bet is to keep all your love heifers in their place.
Absolutely.
And make sure that thin line between.
I want to be known. There's no way he can try to keep it quiet, but she's gonna call your phone and pretend like you call her. It happens.
Now you need to mind your business.
You know who the fuck she was? The bitch called me and was like, you and told this nigga to come. You called her. I mean,
hanging up.
I ain't calling it side bitch. That bitch called me. I don't know that bitch name. Side bitch is
But
only
see,
up.
now I'm about to make y'all. I'm about to make y'all women really mad at me right now because I was joking.
Well, you got like less than 8 minutes to make us mad.
I was joking with Marilyn. You feel me? But I totally disagree. You know, you feel me? And the correlation or the analogy that Marilyn just used, that's comparing apples and oranges. You feel me? One doesn't have to, nigga being broke and this, that, and the third, you don't have to accept that. Like, I wouldn't.
Absolutely not. I'm
not taking care of his business to being a lady. But, you feel me? Nor should you have to accept infidelity. You feel me? Now, I always say, now, I mean, you got to be responsible for the man you choose. If every man that you dated cheated on you, that's on you. You feel me? When I'm in a relationship, I'm gonna tell you, the reason I cheat is real shallow. I don't cheat. It's real shallow. You feel me? I don't got time for the extra shit. I don't got the patience. You feel me? So once I get into a relationship, it's all you. If I feel as though I have to cheat, I'm leaving.
You ain't together no more.
I'm out. I have no issue with chucking the deuces. You feel me? This ain't working.
But can you do that for 40 years?
If I want to cheat, obviously. Huh?
What's the longest relationship you've had? Because I know people who okay, right, 5 years. In 5 years, I can work at my job in 5. I've worked my job for 8 years. But I do not see, when I hear people say, I've been here for 35 years, I be like, damn, I cannot commit to something for 35 years. I don't want to buy a house and pay a 30-year mortgage. That's a long time to be committed to one damn thing. I'm not interested.
For 8 years, but you can't commit to your spouse? That doesn't make sense to me. You can commit to
I can't commit to my spouse. What I'm saying is, first of all, let's understand that when someone sees someone else that catches their attention, that does not mean that you don't love me. That if women will stop equating he cheated with he don't love me, it's not about you. Stop thinking that everything is about you and how he feels about you. It's not about you. He can love you and love you to death, but this other woman is beautiful and she is attractive, and he want to see what that motive is. That does not mean that he don't love you, though.
Ladies, hold on, everybody.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. We're gonna take this topic to my page, Marilyn.
Yeah. Let's definitely bring this back to the show. We got 3 minutes left, ladies. We do have to wrap it up. I just want to quickly say thank you to Marilyn. Marilyn, we definitely gonna have to get your information. It sounds like Michella may have it already. We definitely have to get your information so we can have another show about this topic, because I think this is a good topic to have different sides on this point. Thank you, Michella, for joining us on this amazing topic as well, and the amazing show that we just had.
That's the lady that called. We never got her name.
Oh yeah, I don't think she wanted to give it out, so that's cool. We definitely thank her too. Yeah, and Jabril, the homie, the other Jabril. Let's go ahead and wrap it up, guys.
All right, so y'all can write that information.
Michelle, go ahead and give out your information where people can find you and get at your company.
Okay, so you can find me on Facebook or Instagram under Unforgettable Pleasures. On Instagram, it's Unforgettable Pleasures. On Facebook, it's Unforgettable Pleasures LLC. You can also find me on Facebook under Michella Collins.
All right. Well, you already know it's your boy Clint. You can hit me up on my blog site, akingstruth.com. Hit me up on Snapchat at akingstruth, Twitter at East Trenton Broomy. You know what I mean? Just Google me. I'm everywhere.
All right, this is Willie Styles. That's Willie Styles, Stylez, and you can get at me everywhere at Willie Styles, except for on Snapchat. It's Willie.Styles. Still the OG Willie Styles over there.
And, of course, I am Sunny _D, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. Look at my blog, unreservedlyme.com. Check out our Facebook page, GST Radio. Check out our website, gstradioshow.com. Thank you guys for listening tonight. Good night.
You know what it is.
Night, everybody.
Catch us in 7 days.
Right. Bye.
Holla. Michelle, stay on the line, please.
Daddy, where do babies come from?
Honey?
Mommy went to the store.
Oh, well, you see, there's a mommy and a daddy, right?
Right.
And see, when they call Geico, they could save a bunch of money on car insurance.
Oh, really? And that makes them happy?
Yes, that makes them very happy.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we could have this talk, Sunshine.
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.